This is Seasons of Discontent with your hosts Rick Snyder and Matt Combs on the Hogstye Network.
Welcome to Seasons of Discontent, Season 7, Episode 31, brought to you by Rick Snyder's Washington across social media. And I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
And we're back discussing all things Washington sports and life as part of the mighty Hogstye Network on audio and here YouTube on video. All right, so the Washington Commanders are facing the New York Giants on Sunday in a classic wild card bash. Kind of a strange thing. It's a Giants doubleheader for Washington. And I was thinking about it. Okay, Giants played on Thanksgiving, so they've got some extra days here. Then after this game, Washington has its bye while New York has to go play. And then so they get the extra rest period for the rematch in 2 weeks. So that's kind of a strange thing. But here, if somebody can sweep the other, either way, you knock out the other guy and grab the wild card for yourself. Definitely. That right there. I think they'll probably split, and then Washington has to win 2 or 3 at the end maybe to do it. I know the Giants are trending downward, not quite as good as they were earlier, but it's still a decent team. They got a coach, who understands how to play this quarterback. So Washington's it's going to be another one of these, dog fights again. And you just hope that the offense can score some points.
Yeah, it's going to be another it's going to be another Heineke heart attack game, as I like to call it. Yeah, I agree with you. I think they could, look, I don't know. If Washington can go up to New York and take the first one, and then you get a week off, and then you get them at your house, that's a pretty good opportunity. I think if Washington wins in New York, I think they take both. But yeah, this is the winner controls their own destiny type thing with the wild card. I mean, Washington has the Giants, the Browns and the Cowboys and the 49ers left. I think the Giants have like both games against us, 2 games against Philly. They've got some pretty hard games, and I think Minnesota in there. So there's some pretty hard games in there, but maybe it's not 2 against Philly. I didn't look at their schedule. Don't quote me on that one. But yeah, I think this is between these next 3 weeks with these 2 games, whoever comes out on top, this is a control your own destiny type moment. And who would have thought, just a couple of years ago, the NFC least, this was a division that was won by a 7-9 team, has turned into the beast that it is, with the Eagles only losing 1 game and the Cowboys being right up there. And, we have 7 wins along with the Giants. They just have 1 less loss because they've already had their bye. I mean, I never would have predicted this, Rick.
Yeah. Whose house will it be at FedEx Field? Because, the opposing teams have just been dominating the fans. But I will say, against Atlanta, there was about 50,000 there in a cold rain, and very few Falcons fans. I figured they wouldn't show up. So that means it was mostly Washington fans for once, probably 45. I give them credit. They're actually getting some fans back. 45,000 Commanders fans is a lot compared to recent years. They were down to 10,000 at the end of last year. So, they got cheap tickets everywhere now. I don't know what the gate's really getting them, but get people in the door. And now this team has won 6 or 7. I thought, if you're ever going to come, now's the time, So maybe they won't be, 50-50 against the Giants. Maybe it'll be more Washington fans. I don't know. But does it really matter? I don't know.
Yeah, and it's been loud. You can hear it on TV. I wonder if it does. I think it's a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. Obviously, winning helps. People want to go to a winner. But I also think that the excitement of Dan Snyder selling the franchise, that's I think that is something that people are excited about, so they want to go to the game.
So the excitement over Chase Young continues. Will he return? I mean, Chase finally, they finally had to activate him if they want to play him, but that didn't mean they were going to play him right now. And they were getting close to playing him. And what Rivera didn't say it exactly, but more or less what he was saying is he caught that flu bug Saturday.
Yeah.
That had been going through the team. And then he thought, well, we're not going to have him try and fight the flu and a wet field and everything else. So back it off again another week. So now if he plays this week, he's got 5 games this season to do something. One thing that concerns me about Chase is in the locker room the other day, they asked him, what would Chase Young bring to this game? And he just goes, Chase Young. And I thought, ooh, that's not the answer I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear something very different. That kind of tells me, I wonder if he didn't learn anything from last year, and that scared me a little bit when I heard that.
Yeah, and you got to worry about him disrupting what they've got going on between Payne, Allen, Sweat, Two Hill, Ridgeway. I mean, these guys are stepping up and balling. And I saw an interview with JP Finley and Deron Payne. Deron Payne didn't talk about Deron Payne. Deron Payne talked about the guys around him and how they're doing it as a team and how they're doing it together. It's not one guy. Like John Allen is 8 and Payne is 9 in Pro Bowl voting. They don't care about that. Those guys they don't care what position they're in. They're going out there and they're playing as a solid unit. They are one. Those 5-6 guys that they're rotating in and out. That they're one guy. They're operating as one machine. And does Chase Young disrupt that flow?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that they miss Chase, and I hate to say that. Maybe he comes back and is eye popping. I don't know, but right now they haven't lost games because Chase is not there.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird because, like you said, the other players have stepped up. They fired the defensive line coach in August, and I was like, I've never seen something like that before. And they hired Ryan Kerrigan too. I don't know how much Kerrigan's part of it, how much the other D-line coach is part of it, but they've obviously done a great job.
Yeah.
And the Payne, they're going to re-sign Payne. I mean, Ron pretty much said, we're going to figure out a way to do this. And I think Deron will want to stay. So, yeah, Chase, it's kind of hard to say. He's only going to be playing 15 snaps or so a game anyway.
Yeah, he's going to be on a pitch count. And I'll say this. At the end of the season, Rick, there's about $28 million that should be freed up to sign Deron Payne. So let's go ahead and get that done. That's always whenever Deron does anything good, that is my tweet. Just pay Payne. Just pay him.
Some of that money's going to Taylor Heineke too.
Yeah.
They've signed him even as a backup. He's not going to be playing for cheapo money with incentives anymore, where if you win, you get extra money. You can't do that anyway, second year in a contract. But I love how he said, I can't afford all these Jordans for everybody. Dude, you get $125,000 for each bonus win that you're playing. Okay, so I don't pay for a few Jordans. By the end of the season, you can get them for the media. I mean, whatever. He's got so many.
Well, them black and red ones for the Falcons better be going to those raw bees this week. That's all I'm saying.
I think I think by the end of the season, he'll give everybody shoes in the building. Because if you're the last unit, you got to do it anyway at that point by Christmas.
Taylor, don't give any to Dan Snyder, please.
Give him some walking shoes.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Get him some walking shoes.
And I wondered do we really think now suddenly this coaching staff is good? Because 2 months ago, we were ready to run them out of town. I wish the coach would understand the September games count as much as December games and quit doing that, but bad starts. But, people are suddenly going, well, all right, Scott Turner figured out how to run the ball, and he tailored the offense to Taylor finally. He's done some things. Jack Del Rio's units are suddenly playing pretty well because you got rid of Jackson, and St. Juice has stepped up and played well. And, several guys like Derek Forrest have shown up. And, so I got to give the coaching staff some credit there, too, on all this. We were ready to send them out of town, and now everybody's happy again.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I wanted to highlight, as our buddy Floyd pointed out. Not enough can be said about this 2021 draft class. I mean, it's complete night and day from last year to this year. Jamin Davis, he's just always around the ball now, it seems. We still, I guess the jury's still kind of out on Cosme. De'Ami Brown, he's getting looks here and there. I think his day will come if he ever gets to play with Howe. Bates caught a touchdown, but he's a hell of a blocker. He's one of the best blocking tight ends in the NFC, as far as I'm concerned. Derek Forrest, you can't say enough about that dude. That guy, that spear he put on Mariota yesterday, that was great. Cheeseman is Pro Bowl voted, getting Pro Bowl votes. William Bradley King, Shaka Toney, Dax Milne. Not enough can be said about the draft selections that this front office has made. I mean, their drafts have been pretty solid. And for them being kind of handcuffed in free agency, not being able to spend that much money, They've done a pretty good job. Rick, the one thing that is very impressive with all of this is the depth. And we talk about the 5 or 6 guys that they have on the D line. The way that they have these guys being able to rotate in and out to keep them fresh because they have depth. That's the one thing that this team really has never had is depth. They have a lot of depth. They have 2 really good young safeties in Forrest and Curl. Bobby McCain is playing well back there. St. Just, that guy, I thought he was going to be, they were going to have to convert him to a tight end just because he's so tall. But you saw him try to intercept the ball and he can't catch. So, St. Just is night and day. It's just pretty impressive what they've done over there. I don't know what else to say except for it's the Heineke effect. Maybe Taylor's rubbing off on Turner and Del Rio. Who knows?
Yeah. All right. So we got to give a score because last week in 5 days, Maryland's online mobile betting generated 16.5 million bets. No, nobody knows how many won, but all right, we're going to have to just give it. My scores are always going to sound familiar. I'll take Washington 20-17. I think they're a 3-point favorite, 3.5. Okay, so I better say I'll say 21-17, make them cover.
Give me 24-17.
All right, there you go. I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
And we're out of here. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Seasons of Discontent on the Hogstye Network.